Chapter 11, verse 1 of the Quran says, "This is a book whose verses are perfected." If Allah's verses are perfect, then how is it that he can bring one better than the last one?
Someone needs to explain Quranic abrogation to this guy. This is like a childish kindergarten argument against Islam. The concept of abrogation is based on the Quran and Sunnah, and on the consensus of Ahl as-Sunnah, and there is great wisdom behind it. In most cases, the abrogation was for the purpose of making things easier for the Muslims, or increasing the rewards. It is hilarious that you have a problem with this when the entire basis of Christianity is that Jesus, by fulfilling the covenant between God and man, has abrogated the need for keeping the Mosaic laws. As Muslims, we know this is a false claim, but it is no wonder that Keith Ward, Britain's most senior Christian theologian, said the following. He said that Jesus never taught to abandon the Torah or its rules. It was Paul who never met Jesus who campaigned for this. Jesus taught the disciples to hold on to the laws of the Torah as stated in Matthew 5:19, but Paul went ahead to teach the opposite. Moreover, in the Tanakh, Old Testament, the law of divorce is as follows. If a man marries a woman who becomes displeasing to him because he finds something indecent about her, he writes her a certificate of divorce, gives it to her, and sends her from his house. Jesus, peace be upon him, is said to have abrogated this. It has been said, anyone who divorces his wife must give her a certificate of divorce. But I tell you that anyone who divorces his wife, except for marital unfaithfulness, causes her to become an adulteress, and anyone who marries the divorced woman commits adultery. Matthew 5:31-32. If the Bible is God's perfect words, then what was the need for this abrogation? Mr. Christian. Regarding the verse you presented, Ibn Kathir said the following, the ayat, whereof are perfect, and then explained in detail. This means perfect in its wording, detailed in its meaning. Thus, it is complete in its form and its meaning. This interpretation was reported from Mujahid and Qatada, and Ibn Jarir at-Tabari preferred it. This doesn't contradict the idea of abrogation. For example, Allah first mentioned how there are benefits in alcohol, but the harm and sin that comes from it is greater. This is to get the people thinking that maybe it's best to stop doing this. Next, God says don't pray while you're drunk. This allowed people to now get used to not drinking at certain times. And finally, God makes alcohol forbidden to drink. Do better.